Hi, I'm Alex Grieve, better known as IB Crazy, and in this video I'm reviewing the Cheerson CX31 quadcopter. I bought this quadcopter in hopes to have a better toy to play with my dog, who likes to chase my little toy quadcopters around the yard, but being a dog, well, you can imagine what they begin to look like. Straight out, I give this vehicle on a scale of 1 to 10 a 5. There are a few things I liked about it, but there are a lot of things I didn't like about it. First off, the things I like. The very first thing I liked was the transmitter. This is a nice transmitter and it fits comfortably in my hands. I was pleasantly surprised to see a full-size transmitter despite the $30 price tag, and the gimbals feel very good. Another thing I liked is that this thing has a lot of features. It has an auto calibration system that calibrates the vehicle to get it to fly better without excessive trimming. Another thing that's great is it's got a stunt button. Press the stunt button, kick the vehicle to one side, and it'll flip over and recover without really having to do much of anything. Pretty impressive. Another thing is it has 3 rates, low, mid, and high, so it expands with you as your skills grow. Another thing that's great is the propellers are fully guarded, so when flying it indoors, if you bump into a wall, the propeller will keep spinning undamaged and the vehicle will recover. Anybody who's flown a micro-sized quadcopter indoors can tell you when the prop hits something and stops, it immediately crashes and then you have to go and get it. Not a big problem, but it can get irritating. Another thing I liked about it is that you could fly this both indoors and outdoors, though outdoor is quite limited and it presents a challenge. And that's where the things I didn't like come in. The very first thing I didn't like was the fact that it's hard to tell the orientation of the vehicle. Because it's a perfect circle and these LEDs are extremely dim, it's hard to tell orientation as the vehicle looks the same whether it's this way, or that way. So I would like the LEDs to be a little bit brighter. If you get one of these, I highly recommend putting a red or orange or bright green tape on one end so you can retain orientation. Another problem I had was the lack of general performance. There were 2 things I noticed. First of all, even in the expert mode, I found that this thing was, well, lacking performance. I kept trying to push it harder and harder and asking for more performance, and, well, it just didn't really deliver. Another problem I had is that when I was descending rapidly, if I would kick on the throttle and try to recover, the vehicle would begin to oscillate, come down, and still hit the ground, and then, of course, it would take back off unless a blade of grass got between the blades. Another problem I had was the rotors continued to fly off. Even on the very first flight, a rotor flew off on takeoff. That's not very good. And later, in one landing, I lost 3 of the 4 propeller blades. So I highly recommend, if you get this vehicle, gluing on the propeller blades before even making your first flight. Another problem I have with this is the durability. Despite being a solid shell fully covered, if you fall from, say, 3 or 4 feet onto a somewhat hard surface such as this table, hardwood floors, or even just hard high-traffic carpet, you'll begin to see cracks forming in the frame. And in fact, after just one flight, my battery door is barely useful and the battery is going to need to be taped in. So the plastic is, well, quite cheap. But overall, for a $30 vehicle, it's about what you might expect, which is why I rate it a 5 out of 10, because it's, well, average. So if you want to see what it performs like, what it looks like in flight, please watch the rest of the video. Okay, so here is how the CX10 came packaged. Not exactly the greatest packaging, but we'll open it and see what's inside. Okay. Well, despite the absolutely terrible packaging, the vehicle has seemed to survive just fine. So hint, hint, Gearbest. Better packaging. I really don't care as long as the product's here, because I'm just going to throw this away. But for everybody else out there, please package it a little better. Put it in a more rugged box, something that could take some abuse. We can see that it's fine, but probably should be packaged a little better. I'm pretty sure if I sold something like that, I'd get blasted. So, all right, so let's open it up and see how it works. Well, I gotta say, that's not bad. That's actually a decent sized remote. Well, let's extract the vehicle from its plastic prison here. Well, first thing I noticed is that these feet, well, they just came right off. They don't, I'm not so sure that that's such a good idea. I'm just gonna take them off altogether. I don't see the point of those being there. Not a bad construction, fairly rugged frame. I'm not so sure it's gonna hold up to the dog's teeth because, well, as I said, I want this to be a dog's toy, but hey, not too bad. I found the charger stuck under this thing. And it looks like it even came with 2 extra propellers. That's great. Even though these propellers are guarded, it doesn't take too much to damage them, but they feel pretty stiff. But hey, spare parts are always a good thing in case, well, you know, I crash stuff. Okay, there is our little LiPo. Actually, that's a good size LiPo, and I'm in luck because it uses the same battery as my Syma X5 that I just showed you earlier that the dog had totally annihilated. That's a pretty big battery door. So you know what that means? Let's go out and fly it. And then with a little experience, maybe we'll go play with a dog. Definitely easy to fly on low rates. Very unresponsive, very simple. Seems to do just fine. That's mid rates. Not enough to keep away from the puppy, who is now watching me very excitedly. High rates, well, that might be able to keep away from the puppy. It's fairly responsive. In fact, I'm overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. So with that, yeah, let's go play with a dog. Okay, so I just tried to play with a dog, and yeah, we lost a propeller blade here. Wow, there's like nothing holding that on there. Well, and I already have a crack in the frame from smacking it into the floor. Something tells me this isn't going to last the dog very well, but I don't know, we'll see. Want to chase a copter? Ready, puppy? Oh, ready. Uh-oh! And we lost the prop again. Good. All right, 2 hits and the battery door shot, and again, this prop keeps coming off. Gotta say, so far, I'm not too impressed, but I must say I am kind of impressed with the flip, but not so much of the high-low rates. Well, you want to finish it off, puppy? That was a rhetorical question. Good girl. Drop it. 3 props missing that time, and now my battery door is thoroughly shot. Puppy, I think we need your other copter, huh? You want to go to Simon? Want to chase the real copter? Okay, I think we need a bigger copter for her.